Hey, you folks. I'm Alan. Today, if you know me, welcome back. If you don't, settle in. Today is Wednesday, July 2026, 11:59 in the AM. I am actually awake at a decent hour. Davao, Philippines. What is up? It has been, about a week and a half. Boy, I tell you what, July has been a crazy month. Just weather, medical stuff, and work. Uh, Working for a startup really doesn't leave you a lot of time for other things, but I do my best. So today, July 29 is it's turning into a special day for me, as luck would have it. And I kind of wanted to dive into that because today marks 1 year for me in the Philippines. Man, ain't that something. Um, so this is kind of a year in review, I suspect, or just kind of my celebration of it. Uh, 12 months. I still it's kind of settling in for me that that's gone by. Now I had a fella drop a comment on one of my videos asking why the Philippines, and I thought, well, I hadn't talked about that, so why the hell not? Um, Back in 2022, probably around midway to most of the way through 2022, it had occurred to me that it had been way too long since I'd done any international travel. Last time was in Scotland back in '08. So it had been a minute, and I had this passport that was just had no stamps in it, and I thought that was a damn shame. So I started looking, and you get a little nervous, or at least I got a little nervous about. I mean, traveling internationally is its own thing. Like you develop a muscle for it. There's a certain level of thinking involved when you're in an entirely foreign country that you just have to engage in because you're not at home. And that probably sounds weird to folks who haven't traveled internationally. And for those of you who have, you probably know what I'm talking about. So, why the Philippines? Uh, I wanted to travel to a place I didn't know. I wanted to be just surrounded by people and a culture and an environment that I was completely unfamiliar with. That being said, I did not want to have to deal with as much of a language barrier. Turns out, joke's kind of on me there. Uh, and I also, lastly, I wanted to go somewhere where the US dollar was going to carry pretty far. Um, and where those lines intersected, that was the Philippines. That's where that led me. Um, so I started looking into it, and there's so many, even 22. There's so many vloggers about the Philippines. Filipina P, I feel like everybody knows her, and just countless others. Mike's in the Philippines. It's Me with Corey and Raquel. That he's great. Um, and don't get me wrong, like a lot of these folks are a lot more conservative and right wing than I am, and that's okay. They've been here, they've done that, and more importantly to me, they'd made some mistakes while they were here, and they'd had experiences, and I wanted to know what those looked like, because my ass has OCD, and I really wanted to get a sense of what the place was like before I got here and how the people here reacted to foreigners, how they tended to treat them, what a foreigner's experience was like. So I really just watched the hell out of the videos to figure out or get a better idea of what to do and what not to do. That was probably a smart thing to do. The not so smart thing to do. I mean, I was a single guy. What do you think I did? I hopped onto online dating, and I made the mistakes, folks. I made them. I can feel myself blushing a little bit. I definitely made the mistakes. Luckily, I made enough of them that I was pretty much through it and on the other side when I got out here. So that wound up working to my benefit. Um, so I got out here in, May 30, I want to say, of 23. And I wound up in Milagros Garden Resort, just north of Davao City. And what a pretty place, man. Like they're sitting on like 12 hectares, which is around 29 acres. They got a butterfly dome. They got some museums, like some. I want to say they had like a butterfly museum and a chocolate museum and kind of this outdoor cultural area / museum. Not to mention just this huge walking space. Just as where you, I mean, it was. There's just a lot of room for me to stretch my legs, and that was super super good for me because I really am a fan of putting one foot in front of the other and just seeing where they take me. That was pretty cool, man. I also got to make my own chocolate while I was there and eat it, and that was fantastic. Just nothing but good things to say about Milagros. Um, I also hit up some museums, Bone Museum, Japanese Tunnel. Um, I went down to People's Park, Crocodile Park, the Eagle Sanctuary. Like, I really got around a bit there. I think the only thing I didn't do was like go to Samal that first time. But boy, it was a blast. And while I was here, I started talking to a woman. And we just talked, man. And it was cool. Like, it was relaxed. Nothing felt rushed. And how amazing was that? And we liked each other enough that we kept talking. Anyway, I went home. I was only out here for a couple weeks back in 23, and I went home in June. And I just scraped and saved, and I came back out again in 23 in October to meet up with Andy, who, yes, was the woman I met at while I was staying at Milagros. And we wound up at a place called the Twin Mountain Resort up in Bansalan, north of Digos, because I wanted to be able to see Mount Apo and just take some pictures and make some memories. And that damn place was so high up on the altitude. Like I had a room with a view, right? It had this balcony that hung out over the mountain, and you could just watch the clouds just come on down and scrape by underneath the balcony. And it was gorgeous. And it was also high enough up on the elevation that the temperature didn't suck either, and that was nice. And they had a great big pool. Like it isn't a big place. But they had a nice little restaurant. Everybody was super friendly. And there was a berry farm up there, and Andy really wanted to pick berries, so we went and did that. And we just made some memories, man. And I wasn't out here anywhere near as long as I wanted to be. And when I went home, we just kept talking and really got to know each other. And just how cool was that, man? And it was hard. Like early mornings, late nights, because it's between a 15 to a 16 hour time difference between the Philippines and the West Coast in the U.S. So that was no shit. Like that was hard, man. I have to confess, I was not the best version of myself for some of those video calls. Like that was rough. 2024. I came out in August because her birthday's in August and Karayawan's in August. And because I really, it would be our 1 year anniversary as a couple on August 1. Um, and August 24, August 1. Yeah. Um, so I wanted to come out and do that. And we wound up in the Abriza Towers in Davao City. Cool, man. Like right next to the Ayala Mall, so everything was super convenient. More expensive than I would have liked, but super convenient. And I was out there for a month, just spending time with Andy. We went out to Samal, to the Bat Cave. We did some island hopping with her sister and her cousin and her cousin's fiance. We went out to, I think it's called Dahalayan or Dihalayan. It's this mountain adventure resort place you can go to, and they've got those wires you can, those zip lines you can just fly down, and some ATVs you can ride around on. And we just took a bunch of pictures and made some more memories. And I had to push a bus up a hill, but that's a different story. Not my first time pushing a bus up a hill. At least I didn't get run over this time. And I had to go home. And that was, boy, that was hard. A year later, August of 25, and I came back. And the plan wasn't originally to come back and stay for longer than a month. But I had some things shift out from underneath me back in Oregon, and it freed me up. Like, for better or for worse, it freed me up. And that meant I could stay out here longer than I had anticipated. So Andy and I figured it out. Like, it's something I really, really have grown to appreciate about her, is that she's willing just to talk to me and figure things out. Like, that is its own love language, man. So we found a little place out here near Mental, and we started building a life together. And we got to celebrate another anniversary as just a couple. And through whatever series of unfortunate decisions on her part, I asked her if she'd marry me, and she said yes. And I was blown away. Like, I was pretty confident, but it's never 100%. And anyone who has done this knows what I'm talking about. And this was my third time asking a lady this, so you start wondering if it's never going to happen for you. But she said yes, to my surprise. And then 2026 made it official. Like, oh shit, man. Like, this is all happening. Like, life is just here. And it's something that I find I really appreciate about the Philippines, is that I just feel really present. And man, that's a good feeling. And that's been it. That's why the Philippines. You know, here I am now. It's July 29. It's been a busy 12 months, man. Been wars and earthquakes and volcanoes, every other damn thing. But here I am figuring it out. So if you find yourself wondering, man, I don't have shit figured out, I don't know if I'll make it over there. If you want to come out here and you're stuck in that analysis paralysis, I have an uncomfortable truth for you. If you wait until you're ready, you ain't gonna do it. It's not gonna happen. If you're waiting for certainty, that for certain is not gonna happen. If you are waiting for certainty, that is the only certain part of that equation. So, and again, if you're going to be stupid, be smart about it. Like, I keep a room rented back in Oregon. I have I have a fallback to go to in the event I have to return to Oregon to deal with legal stuff, for example. That's just good to have, or in case like I contract and freelance. If a contract gig comes up and it means I need to be in the U.S. or I need to be in the state of Oregon, then I can do that. I hear people talk about I'm never going back to the U.S. Okay, drama. Like, if that's what you got to say, cool, man. But in my experience, the more adaptable and the more versatile you are, the better your chances are of success. So give yourself. I mean, even I forget where the hell I read this, but it's a turn of phrase. It's a bit of wisdom, and it says, "Even the humble gopher digs two holes." Right? Like, give yourself an out and then give yourself another out, just in case you have to get agile and scramble a bit. You know, it's always good to have a backup plan, especially when you're coming out here and you know that you're going to be figuring things out, and things may not play out the way you want. But the best you can do is the best you can do, and none of that looks like you're ready, and that's okay. Anywho, that's about it for me. I am certain there are other folks out here who have their own "Why the Philippines" stories. Man, I'd love to hear them. Like, drop a comment, let me know. Or even, why not the Philippines? Or why somewhere else? Why keep it restricted to just here? Like, I haven't been to Thailand yet. It's on my list, though. Korea, Vietnam, Singapore. They got some good museums. You know, why there? Why'd you go there? Drop a comment, let me know. Uh, and anyway, that's about it for me. I've probably rambled on a bit too long. As always, folks, take care, be good to yourselves, and stay safe out there. It is a crazy goddamn world. Until next time.